Hi everyone and welcome. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet this really pretty sunshine granny square. You will need yarn in two different colours. I'm using some DK weight yarn today along with a 4mm hook, but you can use whatever weight yarn you prefer. Just make sure that you use the appropriate hook size. Please note that I am based in the UK and therefore I use UK crochet terminology, but I will make reference to US terms as we go, and I will pop all the information that you need in the description box below. To get started, we're going to take our first colour for the centre of the square and we're going to make a slip knot. You can do that however you prefer, and we're going to pop that on our hook and we're going to chain 6. And we're going to join this and make a circle that we'll be crocheting into. So we're going to take our hook, pop it through the chain furthest away from us, grab that yarn and pull through again, give it a bit of a wiggle, and we've now made our center circle. And if you prefer, you can of course make a magic ring. For round number 1, we're going to begin by chaining 2, and that counts as our first stitch. Next, we're going to work a total of 15 UK treble crochets into the centre of this circle. So those would be 15 double crochets if you're using US terminology. So to start, we'll yarn over, insert our hook into the middle of that circle, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So I'll talk you through that again. So yarn over, insert your hook into the circle there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So you need to continue doing that all the way around the circle, working treble crochets until you've got a total of 16 stitches, and that includes the starting chain from the beginning. So go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to continue working my way around now, and then I'll meet you back and I'll show you how to continue. Once you've worked all of your stitches, should find that you've come back around to the beginning, and we're going to join those by working a slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 from the very beginning. So just pop your hook through the top of that chain there, make sure that you go underneath both loops to keep it nice and secure, grab that yarn and pull through, and then pull through again. For round number 2, we're going to start by chaining 4, and that counts as 1 stitch plus a chain space. What we're going to do next is go straight into the next stitch here with a treble crochet. Don't forget that's a US double crochet. So straight into this stitch here, just to the left of where we've worked those chain stitches, and work a treble crochet, and then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do that all the way around the circle. So work a treble crochet into the next stitch and chain 2, and a treble into the next stitch and chain 2. So pause the video and continue working your way around with a treble crochet and a chain 2 into each stitch, and then I will come back at the end and I'll show you what to do to finish off this round. I've just worked my final treble into that last stitch there, and I've chained 2, and we're going to complete this round by joining with a slip stitch into the second chain from the bottom here in those chain stitches that we made at the very beginning of the round. So I've got 1 chain here at the bottom, and then here's our second chain. We're going to pop our hook through there, grab that yarn and pull through again. And we can actually snip off our yarn now at this point and pull that through, and that completes our first 2 rounds with our first colour. Now we're going to switch to our second colour to work the border stitches. We're going to join our yarn with a standing stitch, and I do have a full tutorial on working standing stitches that I'll pop a link on screen to now. So we're going to take our new yarn and form a slip knot and pop that on our hook, and we're going to work a standing treble crochet, that's a US double crochet, into any one of these chain spaces in the circle we've just made. So to do that, we're going to yarn over on our hook. We're going to take the index finger of our right hand, or of the hand holding your hook, and pop it on there to keep it nice and secure. Pick up the circle and insert the hook into any one of those spaces. Grab the yarn and pull through. Grab the yarn and pull through too. And grab the yarn and pull through too. And that's attached our yarn and worked our first stitch at the same time. And what we're actually going to do in round number 3 here is turn our circle into a square shape. So what we're actually working now is our first corner space. So we've already got one treble there. We're going to work another treble into that same space. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to work another 2 treble crochets into the same space there. We're going to chain 2 to take us to the next space, and into this one we're going to work a UK double crochet, and that's equivalent to a US single crochet. So just pop your hook into that next space, grab the yarn and pull through, grab the yarn and pull through both loops, and we're going to do that for a total of 3 times. So chain 2 again to move across to the next space, and then work another double crochet exactly the same. Chain 2 to work across to the next space and work another double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2 again, which brings us to our next corner, and into this one we're going to work 2 treble crochets and 2. We're going to chain 3 and we're going to work another 2 treble crochets into the same space. So that completes our second corner. So we've got one side and 2 corners now at the moment. We're going to chain 2 to move across to the next space here and work a double crochet, chain 2 to move across and work another double crochet into the next space, chain 2 again, work our final double crochet for this side, and then we're going to chain 2 to get to our third corner here, where we're going to work 2 treble crochets, chain 3 and 2 treble crochets again into that same space. And that completes our third corner and our 2 sides. We're going to chain 2 and then into this next space work a double crochet, chain 2 again and work another double into the next space, chain 2 again, and then work one more final double crochet for this side, chain 2, and we're back at our final corner. So into this space we need to work 2 treble crochets, chain 3 and work another 2 treble crochets. And now we just need to work our way back across to the very beginning of the round here. So we're going to chain 2, work a double crochet into the next space, chain 2 again, work another double crochet, chain 2 again, and we've got one space remaining. We're going to work a double crochet into there, chain 2, and we're going to join to the top of the standing stitch here from the very beginning of the round with a slip stitch. So just insert your hook, grab that yarn and pull through again. and that completes round number 3. For round number 4, we need to make our way across into this corner space here. So what we're going to do is slip stitch into the top of the next treble crochet, and do that quite loosely if you can, because you'll be working into the top of that stitch when we come back around, and then slip stitch again into the corner. We're going to chain 2, which counts as our first stitch, and we're going to work another treble crochet into that same space, chain 3, and then work 2 more treble crochets into the same corner space. Into these next 2 stitches here, we're going to work a treble crochet, so 1 and 2. We're going to work another treble into the chain space, another into the top of this double crochet from the previous round, 1 more into the chain space, 1 into the top of the double crochet, 1 more into the chain space, into that next double, and 1 more into this final chain space, and we're almost back at the corner. We've got 2 treble crochets here from the previous round, and we're going to work 1 stitch into each of those. And now we're back at the corner space, and into this space we're going to work 2 trebles. We're going to chain 3 and work another 2 trebles into that same space. So I'm just going to talk you through one more side, and then I'll leave you to complete the square or this round on your own. So we're going to work 1 treble crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. We're going to work a treble crochet into this next chain space, 1 into the top of this double crochet, again into the chain space, 1 into the next double crochet there, again into the next chain space, 1 more into that double crochet, and then 1 more into that chain space. And we're almost back at the corner again. We've got our 2 trebles here, so we're going to work 1 stitch into each of those, and then we need to work our 3rd corner. So to do that, we'll work 2 treble crochets, we'll chain 3 and work another 2 trebles. So continue working your way around the remaining 2 sides of the square. So you'll work 1 stitch into each stitch and chain space along, 2 trebles, a chain 3 and 2 trebles into this final corner space, and then I will meet you back here to show you how to finish off the round and how to work the final round of the square. I've just worked my way back around now. I've worked my final stitch into that last chain space, and I just wanted to show you where to work those final 2 stitches, because they can look a little bit different just because of the slip stitches that we did at the beginning of the round. Where we want to be popping our hook is into this stitch here and working a treble, and then again into this next stitch here with another treble, and then to finish off this round we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of this chain 2 here, and if you like you could actually leave the square there. I'm going to continue and work 1 more round to make it a bit bigger. So again we're going to slip stitch into that next stitch there, and again into the corner space, we're going to chain 2, which counts as our first stitch, and then we're going to work another treble crochet into that same space. This time we're only going to chain 2, and then we're going to work another 2 treble crochets. And this round is really easy because all we're going to do is work 1 stitch into the top of every stitch along here. Make sure that you don't miss this very first stitch here. Sometimes that space there can become a bit hidden, so make sure that you don't skip that one out. So continue working your way around the square now with 1 stitch into every one of those stitches along, and then when you get back to the corner you'll be working 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles. I've just worked my way back around and I just want to show you these last couple of stitches because again they can look a little bit different. So I've just worked into this one here. Next we're going to go into this one, and then for our final stitch we're going to work into this one here. And then to finish off the round we're going to join with a slip stitch into the top of the 2 chain from the beginning here, and that finishes off our square. And then we can just snip that yarn, pull it through, and then you just need to sew in your ends. So I hope you found that tutorial helpful. I will be really grateful if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you again in the next video. Take care everyone. Bye.